morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. I hope it finds you well out there. We got looks like maybe some better weather. Hopefully here in the valley, we've had rain, wind, but looks like the sun's up. But I heard there's going to be maybe some rain again later today. We'll take it. We'll take all the rain we can get, and I know that impacts a lot of the spring training games. Check your schedules. I heard they moved them all up earlier to beat the rain. But tell you what, speaking of rain, and it continues to rain on Wall Street. I hope you're paying attention. Let me give you my number, 800-951-0592. The physical delivery of gold and silver. You know what the funny part is? You all know you need to have it. You need to have it. Call us. We've been doing this 29 years. No complaints ever with the Better Business Bureau. Now, they only go back like 3.5 years, but I don't know why. I wish they'd go back the whole time. It'd be great. But I'll just say this. I know that more and more people are starting to understand that, hey, I better get some gold and silver put away. I hope you call us. I do. But at least do me one favor. Please, please, please don't buy gold from the guys on TV. You know what I'm saying, you Fox listeners. Sean Hannity's gold dealer is a total scumbag, just so you know. These guys operate on 30% commissions. Listen, I don't blame them. You know, and all the guys, I don't care. Maybe you're a Salem guy, right? You like Gorka or one of those guys. They're all the same. Any gold company that offers you free gold, oh, you got $1,000 worth of free gold. No, it doesn't work that way. We work with the lowest spreads in the industry, but I hope you give us a chance here at 800-951-0592. AllAmericanGold.com is our website. Listen, we're different than a lot of the other deals. We don't play games. We actually want you to buy the best deals that we have. There's no bait and switches. We don't call customers. We don't bother you. You could order $1 million from me today, and you would never hear from me again until you called me or told me to call you. I mean, one of those two, right? I mean, we just don't do it. It's part of how we keep our spreads on. We don't have commission salesmen, and, well, let's face it, I do my own radio, right? Jason and I do all of our own radio out there. But get diversified. I keep telling you. Big news on the debt. Big news on the potential for a government shutdown tomorrow. The government runs out of money tomorrow because we have no budget. The Democrats have confirmed that they will not be voting for the continuing resolution to let the government essentially, hey, let's go to the end of September, which is the end of the fiscal year, and we'll just keep spending what we're spending. And they made, listen, they said, hey, $8 billion more for defense, $6 billion for vets, and then we're going to cut $13 billion. Essentially the same. That's not going to happen. And it is setting off a firestorm. Ray Dalio, if you listened yesterday, saying that things are imminent. The amount of debt that is piling up. And when you think about it, really what he was saying is, hey, we got to sell it, right? We got to have buyers. And it's just too much. And the rest of the world doesn't want to buy it. Now, here's the other part. You know who does buy a lot of treasuries, believe it or not? You know, Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, Microsoft, right? They don't keep their excess money in the bank. But all of these profits are going down, which is going to be even less treasuries. But the government, we're in the middle of a government shutdown. We're not even really sure what the debt is right now. Well, the Treasury gave an update yesterday. And man, it was not good. According to the Treasury, the U.S. government spent $603 billion in the month of February. That was 6% more. Yeah, do the math, right? We're on these continuing resolutions that say we're supposed to spend the same. But somehow we spent 6% more. Here is the worst part. You know what we collected in taxes? $296 billion. So the month of February, and you know what? February is a short month. The debt for February, according to the Treasury Department, $307 billion. It is the second worst February debt ever, behind February 2021 with COVID, and barely. We're getting ready to take out all the COVID numbers. But for the first 5 months of the fiscal year, so remember, the government fiscal year starts October 1st. We've broken a record. The cumulative debt so far, $1.147 billion in the first 5 months. And if you just say, hey, if we do that, for the rest of this next 7 months, $2.75 trillion in debt. What hit a record high today? Oh, yeah, gold again. We'll be back. 510592. I won't even bother with everybody and their mother out again today, raising gold forecast all across the board, anywhere from 31 to 3,500. It's going a lot higher than that. Right now, let's take a quick look at the markets. The Dow's down 300 points. Are you getting sick of it? By the way, yesterday I went home, and I did turn on the cheerleading station. Some of you out there, Joe's too negative. I'm too negative. I can't listen. I wouldn't have to be if everything else was just a giant cheerleader and tells you to do things you know you shouldn't do. Let me give you a great example. So yesterday I'm watching, Dow's, the stocks in general, okay, they're in a tough spot. Of course, and if you've been listening to me for any length of time, we told you this was coming. You don't have to be that smart. But they're trying to convince you tech stocks are on sale. Yes, or any stock. I'm buying stock on sale. And then I started listening to these stocks that they were claiming were on sale. Do you know that they had PE multiples 30, 40, 50, 60, some of them 70? PE multiple, just so you know, historic PE is about 8 to 9. I'll call it modern day PE. Essentially, since they said to hell with it, let's just spend all the money that we possibly can, is about 16. Yet they're trying to tell you it's on sale at 50. Come on, guys. Don't be dumb here. We've seen this. How many more times do you got to see it for you to understand what is going on? So the Dow down 300, now 40,000 on the clock here, 41,050 right now, 40,000 on the clock. The S&P's down 40, the Nasdaq's down 200. The 10-year note, man, big rally the last 48 hours or so. Just kind of sitting tight here. 432. 432 on the 10-year note. Crude oil is down, as we said. Gold at a new all-time record high right now, up $38. I tried to tell you yesterday, didn't I? I gave you a number yesterday. Gold breaks $29.43. Look out. Well, guess what? $2,973 silver. I begged you to buy it yesterday. I told you. Jason went and gave his diatribe about $33. $33.52, up another 32 cents. And by the way, TV silver, it's the May contract. It's already over 34. Yeah, get ready. 35 is on the clock. Get diversified. What are you doing? Don't sit there and let your IRAs lose half of what they've got. Don't do it. Get more diversified. It might sound, oh my gosh, sell everything. No, of course not. That's ridiculous. But take a piece of it, get a gold and silver IRA. It doesn't cost you nothing. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's no penalties. There's no fees. I think the whole thing for a year of storage and all the fees that you got to pay, it's like $500. And then after that, guess what? You know what your only fees are? Storage fees. It's like $125 a year. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Wait a minute. I don't have to get hit by 1 or 2%. Nope. Sure don't. Call us. 800-951-0592. So the Treasury came out yesterday, Jason, said we're breaking the record on debt. By the way, now the last rolling 12 months, $1.2 trillion in interest. By September, we'll be closer to $2 trillion in interest. But on top of that, the Democrats came out and said, yeah, nah, we're not going to do this continuing resolution. And instead, we're going to, here's what they're proposing. I guess this is probably the simplest way of saying it. Hey, you didn't include us. This is their argument. You didn't include us. You did this all on your own. So we'll agree to a CR that takes us to April 11th so we can work together on something to go longer. Here's the problem. I don't know if they're going to be able to hustle enough because now it's got to go back to that, right? You got to start all over again. We run out of money Friday night. So are we going to hit the government shutdown? I haven't heard any real response yet from the Republicans, but they're saying that they will not vote for this continuing resolution, and at least now we're saying that, hey, we're prepared to let the government shut down just in case you guys want to call our bluff. So Jason, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if Trump says, fine, shut it down. We're trying to fire people anyway, and now with the government shutdown, I get to do what I want. I don't know. And again, it is one of these things that we keep talking about. Ray Dalio saying, hey, guys, you better wake up. This thing is a big problem. I'm for certain we are going to be getting more credit downgrades because of this type of nonsense. But it just shows you the dysfunction in our government. Let's not lie. We were supposed to have a budget before October 1st of last year. Right? We're almost 6 months into it, and we're still playing these games, Jason.
Yeah. I mean, we've been waiting. I've been waiting for this one because I heard Thomas Massey about that same time frame last year, and actually he was in front of Congress in November saying, why do we keep doing this? Why don't we do something better? Why don't we have any responsibility? And so it's coming. And you're right, Joe. I don't think these people in Washington D.C. really care as much as they do when they're in front of the camera. I think they sleepwalk through this whole thing. I think there's not a lot of work to be done. I think somebody makes their choices for them. So there's going to be the pressure. There's going to be the finger pointing, right? There's going to be a little bit of drama for the people that are paying attention, like you, and then like us. But then I wonder how much we're actually going to know about this thing once it passes. What are we actually going to know? What are they actually spending? And no matter what, it's going to be more. I don't see how it can't be anything but spending more. I don't. There's just no way around it with what's happening leading up to this thing. So I don't know. I mean, so was it tomorrow? What's the date that they have to have this thing? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah. So midnight tomorrow.
Okay.
So really, I guess let's call it 12:01 Saturday morning. So midnight, 1 second after midnight on Saturday morning.
Get it past Friday night, and then anybody who wants to see what's in it, they can see it after they pass it. Right? It was at the Pelosi thing. Let's just pass this thing, and then we can see what's in it. There's another one of those. I'm thinking, and by Monday, I don't think any of these guys are going to look inside that thing.
Yeah, and again, I'm just obviously. What the Democrats want is, we want to spend some money. Hey,
yep,
right? We don't have the votes, but we have enough votes that we want to spend even more money. They just don't get it, and this is why gold is doing what it's doing. I mean, when you sit there and you start thinking about how in the world, when we just came off a year, according to them, we had almost 3% GDP growth, right? We've got unemployment, 4% unemployment, more people working than ever before. But yet we are breaking record levels of debt. I mean, right now, I thought $3 trillion was going to be hard to do. I did. I thought, okay, we're not going to do $3 trillion, but be close. And next year, 2026, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit that $3 trillion level. Remember now, Donald Trump wanted a $4 trillion increase in the debt. That's not this. This is not a debt ceiling thing. So there's two different things here. This is a budget thing. Not a debt ceiling thing, but on the debt ceiling, he wanted $4 trillion. That won't even get us to next summer. I mean, it is really getting out of hand. Scott Bassett, the new Treasury Secretary, was on TV today. I want you to listen. Pay attention. We're focused on the, quote, real economy. I'm not concerned about a volatility on the stock market over the last 3 weeks. But he kept going on, talking about stocks. He goes, you've got to look long term. Uh-oh. Whoops. Long term. If you start looking at micro horizons, stocks become very risky. What? Wait, what? What did you just say? Of course, we tell you stocks are risky. What the heck does micro horizons mean? See, this is what they do, right? For the average person out there, what did he just say? I don't know. Let me turn on the sports station. Right. What's on ESPN right now? I don't know. Micro horizons. He just told you stocks right now over the short term are going to be very risky. What does very risky mean? They're going to crash. That's what it means. And they know it, He doesn't feel bad. He shouldn't. He's telling you. He just told you on TV. Now, did he say it as simple as I did? No. Right? He talked about micro horizons. And, well, you know, if you just stay in there long term, here's the thing about this long term. And Jason will tell you, we have gone through an unprecedented 50 years. We really have. Why is it so unprecedented? Well, it's been a huge rally. You know, we've had it, but you're like, wait a minute, we had the tech bubble crash, we had the financial crisis, but they were small. We are getting ready to enter a period where I think, Jason, 20 years? Maybe 30 years of no returns? Remember, Japan has gone through it. This is the setup. Why? Because how did we get to these great numbers? Well, gosh, we're almost $40 trillion in debt. That's how we did it. And now, Jason, the fear is, right? We may not have enough people to buy the debt, Jason. That's a problem.
Yeah, we had two times in last century where the markets went down and didn't come back for 20 to 25 years. It's happened twice, and it happened in similar situations as to where we're at today.
We'll be back right after the 800-951-0592. If you don't have 30 years left to wait for the stock market, you might want to call us. Put this gold away right now. Like everything else, it's just going to go higher. $20 gold pieces, $3,120. I mean, well, those gold eagles are $3,300 right now. $10 Liberty, $16.25. $5 Liberties, $8.15. Don't wait here. You know, yesterday we had that CPI print, and they said 2/10. They did. And they're like, oh, that's better, right? 2.8. Do you know if you only took the last 6 months and the inflation rate was almost 4%? I'm just saying. They had some weak, some big numbers falling off to make it look good. We had the same thing happen this morning on the producer prices. Same thing. Don't be fooled. It's not because things are getting better. It's simply because big numbers fell off. And by the way, we got another month of big numbers falling off, and I guess 2 months of big numbers falling, and then it swings the other way, right? Then we got like 3 months of really tiny numbers. This isn't going to end well. And again, stocks are not on sale. They're trying to tell you they're on sale. They are not on sale. Still, PE ratios at historic levels. American Eagle, they've been a very good retailer since COVID. Came out and said, same thing everybody's been saying. It's not good. The first 3 months of this year continue to be more difficult than they anticipated. Then on top of it, we had more tariff stuff. So remember yesterday, the original 25% tariff on steel and aluminum went into effect. Well, Europe came out, said, hey, we're going to tariff $26 billion at 25% of this stuff. This morning, Donald Trump is threatening a 200% tariff on European wine, champagne, and other alcoholic beverages. And Jason, of course, like everything else, here we go again, right? The trade wars heating up. The French, they're the very tough French. We're not going to be bullied, but I think that everybody's starting to figure out Trump is serious. This wasn't a negotiation ploy. I think a lot of people thought, me included, I thought it was. It's not. They know we need to have these tariffs just so we can give the illusion that we're not spending even more money. Because if they don't do the tariffs, forget about $3 trillion. The budget deficit will be $4 trillion in a single year. Trust me. Wall Street's just now figuring it out. And remember what I told you. Wall Street was already priced to perfection. There is no perfection in this. If you actually want to give it back to the people, hey, we're going to give it to the worker, right? That's kind of the new thing you're hearing. Wall Street doesn't rally with that. It doesn't work that way. You know how Wall Street rallies? When the people get as little as possible and they get as much as possible. That's how it rallies.
And these tariffs are a way of taxing the citizens without raising the taxes. This is going to more than double whatever the tax cuts that Trump tries to pass. It's going to more than double the average family's cost. This is a tax. We live in Colorado, so Joe's in Arizona, but we have this thing Tabor. Tabor is the taxpayer's bill of rights, right? And so essentially the legislature in Colorado has to give the voters, hey, we want to raise the taxes, and the voters are always saying no. So what has Colorado done? Oh, here's a fee here, or a penalty, or a value added fund, and all these little things that they add to the taxes, which is, well, it's not a tax, it's a fee, right, Joe? That's what the tariffs are. The tariffs are, well, this isn't a tax, although it is, because it's 50% or it's 25% from something coming in from another country, which will immediately be added to the cost to us. So Joe, as you were just mentioning, Wall Street, I think you said, is figuring it out. People are not going to have money to spend because what little they had last year is going to shrink significantly with the cost of these goods and services coming in the country, Joe.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The tariffs hurt Wall Street profits on top of the fact that now you have just chaos and uncertainty all over the world. The Dow now down 450 points. Get ready. Have you figured it out yet? And this is the thing. When it comes back to the other side. Listen, and I've said this before. We have to try something. Right? That's the one thing. It's not sustainable. We've figured out how much debt could we really spend before it really started to hurt. Right? A lot of people thought $5 trillion is going to do it. Well, no, $5 trillion didn't do it. Guess what? $10 trillion didn't do it. $20 trillion didn't do it. $30 trillion. We started to get a little heartburn. Now we're at 40 trillion. Let's just call it. We're at 40 trillion. Okay. Well, guess what? That heartburn, yeah, it's a problem. You're going to the pharmacy and you're just buying Tums, right? That was on the grocery list. Every 2 weeks, your wife went to the store. Oh, you got to get some Tums. The Tums stopped working. Right? Next thing you know, you got to go to the doctor. Doctor's like, hey, you got to eat better, stop drinking. You're fat. But here's a prescription. Right? Take one of these every day. And so you're popping these, and guess what? You're feeling better. Hey, the heartburn went away. Right? And I can just keep doing what I'm doing. Well, guess what? Now that stopped working.
Right. It's worth retelling, Joe. Walmart's having an emergency meetings with the government of China.
Yeah.
These are things that happen when things are going wrong. Walmart and China have to get into a huddle and figure out what are we going to do. That's worth. If this is the beginning of a market downturn, which it looks like this last 2 weeks, I'm always going to remember that it was the same week that Walmart met with China.
Listen, you better call quickly. Gold's up 45 now, 29.80. Silver, we may be $34 today, up 61, 33.81. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Gold's a new all-time record high, $2,980. Silver, $33.80. And I'm not during the break. I literally got a new price sheets. All prices are going to be up significantly. If we're going to be here, we open here or higher tomorrow. You're going to be seeing much higher prices. So right now, $20 gold piece, $31.20. That's on sale now. That's a sale price. Think about it. You got gold pretty much three grand. That's nothing. It's nothing. Get it put away. To give you an idea, you're going to see somewhere between $31.50 to $31.75 on 20s tomorrow, because they just sent a price sheet. That was $10 in gold to go. See what I'm saying, right? They're behind, right? Gold just keeps popping here. Silver, man. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I think the moment is here. But call us. We're going to keep today's pricing. Roll of Silver Eagles, $815. Yeah, you heard it right. Case, $20,225. Well, gosh, why is that so much? Okay. Case of Silver Eagles costs $37. I mean, that's why. Rolls of dimes. Remember yesterday I told you what was going to happen? Now I'm telling you right now. Guess what? These are going to be higher tomorrow. Rolls of dimes, $135. Rolls of quarters, $270. Rolls of half dollars, $275. At 800-951-0592. If you want to do 50 grand or more, we'll do some volume discount pricing for you. We'll sharpen our pencils the best we can. But listen, these premiums are not bad, but they are what they are. Right? I mean, they sit there and say, I'm going to be able to buy an ounce of gold for $3,120 today, and gold's at $2,980. That's a pretty good deal. That's a really, it's incredible that that's not even 5%. It's 4.5% over spot. That's it. It's nothing. 800-951-0592. The Dow down over 400 points, 40,940 right now. The S&P's down 52, 55, 46. Wasn't the S&P close to 64, 6,500 not too long ago? The NASDAQ down 242 at 17,400, right? It was, I think it peaked out around a little over 20,000. And then Russia now has formally declined the 30-day ceasefire. The Wall Street Journal was reporting that Ukraine is in full retreat in Kursk, the Russian area of Kursk, that they are putting up almost no resistance and are in full retreat. So doesn't look like we're going to have a stoppage there anytime soon. But the big thing that really is worrisome, we've got, 39 hours? 39 hours left. The Democrats have said no to the continuing resolution that would allow the government to essentially, hey, let us just keep doing what we're doing to the end of September. Okay, we'll just go a whole year with no budget, but we'll just keep spending what we're spending. And, of course, we got the deficit numbers from the Treasury for February. And why do I think, Jason, because, we're in emergency measures, and we've been in emergency measures since February. Why do I get the feeling the number could actually be worse than what they were saying? But a record amount of debt for the first 5 months of any fiscal year, $1.15 trillion. And, we still got 7 months of the fiscal year to go. If we stay on this path, we're going to have a deficit of about $2.7 trillion, which is, $700 trillion more than last year. And we're supposed to, here's the step part. Hey, we're supposed to be spending about the same. What does that mean? Well, people are out of money. Hours have been cut. Tax receipts just aren't there. And guess what? Wall Street didn't start having a problem until a couple weeks ago. So this is going to be even, let's face it, it's going to put more pressure, right? Because obviously if Wall Street's not as profitable, capital gains aren't as profitable, right? All of these things. Jason, tax receipts look like they're in serious decline right now.
How much less? I mean, it doesn't seem like it should be super severe, but I guess if maybe the layoffs are a lot worse than we're seeing. Is this?
Well, and I think there's a lot to do with hours being cut. I think there's a lot to do. People have lost one of their jobs, right?
There might be businesses that from a couple of years ago when they laid a bunch of people off and then they couldn't get anyone to come back in. Remember the COVID layoffs? And then I think it was 2022, they couldn't get people in. The inflation came in, so they're like, okay, we're not going to fire a bunch of people this time. Let's just cut hours. Yeah, I could see the mentality behind that, Joe. Don't fire them this time.
Yeah, right. Hey, they still remember, man. All right, the last thing I want to do is sharpen the axe, because what if it did turn around? Yeah. 800-951-0592. Final segment on a Thursday. We'll be right back. 800-951-0592. Joe and Jason wrapping up this Thursday. Gold's hit a new, well, for now anyway, a new intraday record high here. 29.80. Silver approaching $34. By the way, May silver almost $35. Yeah, here we go. The Dow right now down 450 points, 40,900 on the Dow. The S&P's down 62. The Nasdaq's down 300. Everything is on sale today at Patriot. This is about $25 in gold to go pricing. $20 gold pieces, $31.20. $10 at $16.25. $5 pieces at $8.15. Silver, cases of Silver Eagles, 20,225. Rolls at $8.15. Half dollars, $2.75. Quarters, $2.70. Dimes at $1.30. We got 1 gram bars. Final day at $1.20, by the way, on the gram bars, if you want to pick those up. 800-951-0592. We do give volume discounts. You want to do $50,000 or more, we are going to sharpen the pencil for you as best that we can. But, Jason, it's kind of like a triple monster here, right? We had this horrible budget deficit for February. We just enormous, the amount of debt. The day before, Ray Dalio warned about, hey, it's imminent now. We're really close to having, hey, we're not going to be able to sell all of this. And then on top of it, the Senate now saying no dice on a continuing resolution. Wanted a clean bill, didn't get that. Tried to get a pretty clean, for a continuing resolution, it was pretty clean. That's not working. plus the tariff wars, and then on top of it, the realization, hey, this isn't temporary. This is real. This wasn't negotiations. And everybody, I have yet to have a company come out this week and say, hey, earnings are going to be better. Everybody is lowering their forecast and lowering them significantly. And again, we knew that, listen, it was a bubble to begin with. Now, Trump will get the blame, but either way, something had to be done. But the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, just came out and said, listen, if you're worried about Wall Street in the short term, I'm going to tell you right now, it's loaded with risk. Yep. Nope, can't hear you. Jason,
right,
there you go.
Yeah, you got to get that going, Jack. 15%. The S&P is down 15% since February 19th. The Nasdaq's down about 12% since February 19th. And the Dow's doing a little better. It's a little less than 10%. So the Dow's holding on, but the tech stocks and the S&P, that's not looking. That's just, what is that? I don't know, 9 days plus the 13, 20, it's a little over 3 weeks. A little over 3 weeks. We got, that's bear market, right? 10% or more?
Yep. Yeah, that's bear market. And it looks like the Dow may get there today, down 465 points now. So we'll keep our eyes on it. 800-951-0592. By the way, gold is taking out all the 3,000. That's the next, and that's really just a psychological number. We'll see what happens. Is it going to be today? Is it going to be